Hi everyone. Before we begin, I think Neil forgot to mention, if you're interested in the ransomware as a service model, Lockbit has a stall in the lobby at the next break. Would you like to take a seat, Simon?
Thank you.
So, Simon Holden, Group CEO of Cityfibre, at the risk of going full partridge, welcome to the Platform X Virtual Fireside.
Well, can I say it's nice to be back? 1980, Empire Strikes Back.
Nice. Very good. So we're going to talk a little bit about the future of the altnet market and what it means for our customers here today. But should we start with some exciting news from yourselves that have recently announced about your intention to acquire Lit Fibre? Hopefully you can tell us a bit more than that about the acquisition and possibly if it's the first of many.
Sure. I think this is a hot topic around the digital infrastructure community, and we are certainly, I think, about to embark on a wave of consolidation in the UK. We were very happy to announce our first deal. By the way, it's not our first deal at Cityfibre. Cityfibre was really built on a series of acquisitions, probably more than a dozen over the last decade or so. But it's the first one recently, and I think it's significant because it's clearly the first of this wave of digital infrastructure consolidation we anticipate. So Lit has about 225,000 homes on its platform, about 10,000, almost 10,000 customers, and we believe that this will be the first of a series of acquisitions that we would like to do, and happy to talk a bit more about how we see the landscape. But the important thing for us is we're taking a very programmatic approach to this phase of consolidation. What does that mean? That means we are acquiring businesses, we are essentially integrating those networks in, and if, for example, the electronic components don't marry up and are not interoperable with our systems, we're basically stripping them out and putting our own interoperability systems into them. We are putting our entire wholesale platform on top. So for those businesses that have developed really fantastic, interesting interfaces into their existing customer bases, that's great. But we're essentially going to put our wholesale platform on top and make it seamless for our customers. So that as we expand through M&A, what we will do is make that platform one which delivers the same SLAs, the same product set, with exactly the same quality that you would get anywhere on our platform. And why are we doing this? Because we've already built about past about 3.8 million premises today, but we see that we can go faster through acquisition. But it only works if we deliver the same quality of products and service to the end customer base. So that's what our objective is. And I should say we don't intend to be vertically integrated. We're not looking to be a retailer. We will look, generally speaking, to move on with those ISPs and have those find a good home with other potential ISP partners. We intend to be a wholesale platform going forward. And it's really, I think, in our perspective, one that we see that we can repeat this. We'll do maybe 2 or 3 of these a year. And that will just become part of our infrastructure expansion. Our vision is to go to 8 million as our kind of first milestone. That vision is still intact. I think what we hope is that we can get there faster through this combination of buy and build.
Brilliant. And it's great to hear you confirming again to the market your wholesale commitment. I think the discussion around common design standards and ability to speedily integrate is a whole other fireside chat. The one that our good friend Neil MacArthur is keen on having.
Yep.
Absolutely, but we'll move on from that for today. I mean, it's great to hear about your buy and build strategy. We all know that there are over 100 altnets actively building in the UK today. As you've said, consolidation is a red hot topic, and we are seeing that activity now in the market. I mean, just be interested in talking a little bit more how you see it playing out in the long term.
Okay. So we see, I would say, roughly 100 folks that have got funded. By the way, you can sense the spontaneity in the questions because obviously a big slide comes up to illustrate the answer. But so we have done a bit of pre-prep. But I would say of those, first of all, why are there 100 that are out there? The answer is because I think government and Ofcom laid out a really good platform for a country that has been underinvested in terms of digital infrastructure, okay, and underinvested by essentially the incumbent and the notional challenger. And it really did need a catalyst to get moving, and two things happened. One was that platform was set up, both in tandem with the government and the regulator, and the second was that we had a period of really enormous amounts of readily available capital that was searching for a home in digital infrastructure space. And those two things came together, and about 100 businesses got funded. Okay, I think it's sort of extraordinary. You know, quite often you get these kind of peaks in terms of capital cycles. And I think in other capital markets environments, you wouldn't have got 100 businesses funded, but I think you would have got many funded. And so you can see here, there's a lot of logos of folks that are really seeking to roll out at entirely different scales, I would say, and with entirely different models. So you can see we are sitting on one side of that equation, looking to be really a national platform to cover dense inner city areas, to cover MDU blocks, to cover rural areas, but also I would say to cover consumers, businesses, mobile, public sector. So really to cover all four verticals, and we had a very simple philosophy on that, which is if you want to be a scale player, to make the economics work, you have to tap into every vertical on that journey. It's really important to be able, in the long run, to deliver the best scale platform with the best pricing. So that was why we've gone down that route. But there are many others that have focused on distinct geographies or distinct niches in terms of pursuing their activity, and some of those will work well and will survive. But for many of those, being stuck in that kind of middle zone is not going to work. And so we can certainly tell from the conversations that we are having, which is many of those kind of middle zone players, so let's say plus or minus 100,000 premises, they will need to come together, I think, into a bigger platform over time. And there is a good home for that group. This aggregate challengers have built almost now 13 million premises across the UK. That's basically the same size as OpenReach. So if that challenge group comes together and can come together relatively quickly and efficiently, there will for sure be a third national network challenger in the UK, which I think in the long run is going to be good for society here and good for customers, not just in terms of scale, but also in terms of innovation and service levels as well.
Yeah, absolutely agree on the 3+ number as well. I mean, you referred earlier there to the government angle. Obviously, in your video earlier, we heard about Project Gigabit and the funding you've secured, which is great for you guys, but what's in it for the people in the room?
Yeah, look, I think, first of all, there are many, many businesses in these rural areas. So we have a pretty simple model. We were building cities. We finished building out the cities. We go to the commuter towns and villages outside. But it was never really economic or selectively economic to do that. But the government put in place a program to accelerate fiber build into the deepest rural areas. And so we've won about 9 of those lots. What that means is we can now, with government subsidy, so there's about roughly £800 million of government subsidy, will help us build quite close to 500,000 of those subsidised homes. But on the journey to get to those subsidised homes, we'll also be able to build another 1 million or so premises. And roughly, so Cambridgeshire, which is the kind of first lot that we've won, the first lot that we're now building up, the first place we'll release premises, about 11% of that footprint that we will cover incrementally will be businesses. And so we see the opportunity, and I think a really great opportunity for many of the folks in this room in particular, where you are potentially focused on a particular geography. If you are in one of these 9 county clusters, we will be the deepest fiber network in those areas. Okay, without any doubt at all. We will have the deepest, highest quality XGS-PON network being rolled out across those, and you will be able to access from all the cities that sit there, all the towns, all the villages, all the way out to those more dispersed businesses, you will be able to access exactly the same quality, exactly the same SLAs that underpin the platform that you want to go on top of. And you know, of course, we are working with, you know, really good partners, and PXC, I think, is an excellent partner for us, particularly in this regard, to be able to give you a seamless service across that footprint. So, you know, that is what it really brings. And I come back to, you know, we are not a skinny consumer just using PIA model. We have invested more money in our core transmission infrastructure. We are the highest quality network in the UK in terms of service levels. We can see that now. We have, by the way, well, we will have next Wednesday, I'm assured, 400,000 customers on the platform, about 497 this afternoon, and that is working at scale. Okay, so we know we can deliver that, and now we can deliver it across those really significant county footprints. And that means that if you want to offer something to local communities, but at that sort of regional level, we can deliver that entire platform seamlessly to you at the best price. So we are materially cheaper, 25 to 30% cheaper than OpenReach in terms of that wholesale pricing, with much better SLAs and much better products. We are now rolling out multi-gig products. We have a 2.5 gig product offering. That's our highest speed at the moment in the market. And we will go up because we will have an XGS PON-capable network, which will be across those many, many millions of our footprint over time, but particularly in these regions, and particularly out to underserved communities that have never had a quality broadband offering before, and they will have exactly that same quality that you can get whether you're in the city or in a deeper rural area.
Yeah, and I think that consistent message of scale and ease of doing business is what we want to offer all of the partners out there today. Absolutely. Now let's move on, talk a bit more about the wider economic environment. So it's been reported, I love these figures, it's been reported that a nationwide upgrade to full fibre could deliver £72 billion of benefit to the UK economy by 2030. How can our partners take advantage of that? It's a big number, it feels like an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, I think, by the way, politicians and people that deal with politicians really love to throw out these enormous
Crazy
numbers.
Yeah.
Okay? And personally, I find them sort of somewhat meaningless and difficult to understand. But I guess what I do see is every time we go out, and I go out with the install crews, and whether we're installing a business customer or someone in the consumer market, and you listen to their stories, getting a high quality digital infrastructure product and the capabilities that come with that, particularly in a world where more people are working from home at least part of the week, where actually the bandwidth demands just seem to be accelerating. There is a tangible benefit from having that, and people value that, and they value simplicity. And so, you know, the numbers are big when you start compounding that down every street that you go, across every village, into every town, across every county, across the country. And so I think that's why the numbers are very large, but actually it all starts at a customer-by-customer basis. And I think the thing that I would say is you don't have to wait. So this chart is really showing, so we've got basically a bunch of our cities, Stirling, Dundee, Cambridge, Peterborough, Southend-on-Sea. They are built. They're done. They have basically 95% of the premises in those cities have access to a full fibre multi-gig product today. And the OpenReach overbuild you can see in each of those is, you know, somewhere single digit going up to about 15% in Southend. And actually across our whole network, 72% of our entire network footprint, so the 3.8 million that I talked about today, has no OpenReach on it at all. We are the only fibre network there. So if you want to get those advantages to your customers, you don't wait. Okay? They can have it today. You don't have to wait for BT to turn up. And by the way, to compete with BT and you know, some of the other operators that are on that network, you can be on Cityfibre. It's a big footprint, millions of premises on that footprint. where we have first mover advantage. And by the way, that advantage, is there for a while, but it won't be there forever, because I think BT will continue to build and scale up. But if you want to get in early with the best value product, then that opportunity is there. So I would sort of encourage people, to engage with PXC, and we're well integrated now in terms of that. Every time we release premises, PXC kind of picks those up. It goes immediately into their selector, and you can identify those on the portal or through API. So that's all available to you, to this group today. And I think, of course, it's in our interest to say it, but I would also, I think it's in the customer's interest to be able to get access to the best product, and you can do it at prices that are cheaper than copper. So, I would encourage you to do that.
Fantastic. It's great to see those figures as well, because there's obviously been a lot of discussion, a bit of an obsession on overbuild,
Yep.
and just having that really clear, this is new footprint with you guys is fantastic to see. So nice, easy one, just as we wind up. Couldn't let you go without asking, what can we expect to see next from Cityfibre?
Yeah, look, I think there's a couple of things we'd like to highlight to this group. Our history, if I kind of go back and link back to acquisitions, our history was basically buying and building metro networks in cities. And we did some of that through acquisition, some of that on the back of public sector contracts. So we would connect schools, hospitals, GP surgeries, CCTV, but that gave us our core transmission network, and then we've built out from that. And historically, we've sold Ethernet products basically off that network. But what we've done is now we've been building out these full fiber networks, which go much, much deeper across the city footprints, and then beyond, is we are now making Ethernet products available across that entire footprint. So that will almost double the available footprint. We have about 90,000 premises available today. We will almost double that with the availability of the Ethernet product. And then we have the business FTTP product, which is a kind of, a sort of enhanced consumer product, basically with a kind of CIR underpinning it, for those of you that want that. And that is available basically across the entire footprint. And so there's probably 90, 100,000 premises where that is available. And look, as we kind of roll out, I think we estimate that there will be about 500,000 business premises available for Ethernet and business FTTP. By the time we get to about the 8 million milestone. So, there's a big opportunity that we have on that side of it in terms of availability. And then we're now delivering multi-gig products. So we already have 2.5 gig in the consumer market. We're rolling out 2.5 gig now and variations below that into the business market. And we think it's exciting. And forever we've had BT saying, well, you don't need high speeds, and you don't need this bandwidth, and you don't necessarily need all this reliability, and isn't it all terribly expensive? Well, the answer is no. You can have the bandwidth, you can have the reliability, and you can have it at a great price. And so I think it's exciting. This is leadership. I think 1.8 is the highest you can get on the Openreach network. So we are showing product leadership here. And by the way, we intend to show product leadership going forward. Okay, we're a challenger, so we have a few simple philosophies. We are going to have the best products. We are going to have the best service levels. We're going to do it at the best economics. We're going to do it on a network that stays up. And when it goes down, we're going to fix it faster than anyone else. And we think that that is the challenger mentality. That is what we are building our business on. We're excited about where we are in the journey. We're probably in the middle of it in terms of getting to that 8 million or so, but we've got great momentum, and I think we're trying to deliver something that's truly differentiated for you, for your customers, and for the UK as a whole. So, we're working hard at it. We've got a lot of stuff we're learning, but I really feel operationally we're getting better and better every day, and I think, with your feedback from PXC, great partnership, we can achieve really good things, and frankly, we can do it faster and faster. So it's an exciting moment for us, I think, and that this multi-gig thing is it's the first real product leadership milestone that is obvious out there, and I can tell you we intend to maintain that.
Brilliant, thank you for that. I think that really sums up the basis of our really great relationship is two challenger brands disrupting the market on behalf of our customers. So fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. Simon, that about wraps it up, so a big thank you from all of us.
Thank you.